to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Shabbat shalom. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yahad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yahad. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum, Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Oops, how good it is, where are my chords? How sweet it is to be together on this day. A few more times. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum, Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum, Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Sorry, shevet achim gam yachad.
Thank you all. That was just a spontaneous.
Yeah. Okay, I'm taking requests. What else would you like to hear for opening songs?
I was just gonna say that.
Piano man. Well, that's kind of sexist of you guys. My mic's not working.
Is my mic working? It's not working?
Do you want to bring it closer?
Is it working now?
Yes. Now
Thank
it's
you.
working. Yes.
Bobby said he was going to turn it off. Hello? Okay, great. How about Joyce?
Hello. Hello. All of a sudden, I'm feeling
Doesn't
stage
seem
fright.
very
Okay.
sanitary. Are we actually?
We're at 5:58, so the live stream started 3 minutes ago.
Oh, so start singing something to sing
Okay.
a different Hine
Some-
Matov.
a
'cause
different
there are
Hine
4
Matov?
of them.
Oh, here, let's do the Rick Recht one, and we'll do it in the key of D major. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yahad. 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 Shevet achim gam yachad.
True.
We just do that, or do you want to welcome?
No, let's sing L'chuna Ranana. It's on page 10 if you're interested.
Yeah, so if you have your Mishkan Tefillah and you want to open it up to page 12, we have L'chu Neranana by Rabbi Ken Chasen. Here we go. Okay, this is a kind of a high energy one. Okay, so you may want to buckle up. Lechu neranena, yai lai 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 lai, LaAdonai, yai lai 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 lai, Nahariya, yai hai lai lai lai, Letzur Hishenu, yai lai 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 lai. Let us sing unto God, the maker of all, sure and strong. Let all of creation from mountain to sea hear our song. Lehu neranena, yai lai 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 lai, LaAdonai, yai lai 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 lai, Nahariya, yai lai 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 lai, Letzur Hishenu, yai lai 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 lai. For all of the wonder and all of God's light, we rejoice. So now let us listen with all of our hearts to hear God's voice. Lehu neranena, yai lai 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 lai, LaAdonai, yai lai 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 lai, Nahariya, yai lai 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 lai, Letzur Hishenu, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome. So glad to have all of you here. Some new faces, some old faces. That would be mine. And people online, welcome, wherever you are. We're so glad that you're here with us tonight. And you can hear me too, I think. Terrific. Rabbi Mangold is not feeling well. I don't think it's COVID, but she's not feeling well, so we thought she should take the night off and recover. So I am here to lead services along with the amazing Joyce Liu. Always a pleasure to be with her. And as we go through tonight's service, I want you to think about the prayers we're reading and what they have to do with the concept of time. And are they thinking about the past or the present or the future? And we're going to chat about that a little later on in the service. So keep that in mind as you're reading. Don't worry, there's no test per se, but we will be discussing it. So I'm looking forward to your participation. We will now turn to page 2 for the candle lighting, and I'm going to invite Marlis Meckler to the bima to help us light the candles. And then we will sing the blessing all together. It's page 2. First, Marlis is going to do a reading on page 3. I think this one.
As those Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who withhold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled the light. So may we in our own day be among those who kindle the light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you, Marlis. Let's turn to page 5 and sing the Kiddush together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinhilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereshit ki hu yom tehillah lemikra'e kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinhaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
Let's continue to welcome Shabbat into our sanctuary by turning to page 20 for Lecha Dodi. We will sing verses 1, 2, and 9. And at verse 9, if you're comfortable, please rise and face the door as if to physically bring Shabbat into our midst.
La 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 Lecha Dodi, la 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 likrat kala, la 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 penei Shabbat nekabela, shamor vezahor. B'dir bur echad Hishmianu el hamiuchad Adonai echad Ushemo echad L'shem tiferet B'liti la 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 Lecha Dodi la 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 likrat kala la 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 penei Shabbat nekabela likrat Shabbat Lehul v'necha ki mekor ha'bracha merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh Machshava Tehila. La 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 Hadodi. La 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 Likrat Kala. La 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 Penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat Nikabela.
Please rise if you're able.
Boi v'shalom Ateret bala Gam b'simcha uv'tola Tokimunei Am segula Boi Boi chala lai 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 chadodi lai 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 likrat kala lai 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 penei Shabbat
Please remain standing if you're comfortable, and we'll turn to page 26 for the Chetzi Kaddish.
Yitkadav yitkadash shmei Rabba Be'amad yivrach yirutei ve'yamlich malhutei B'chai yechon u'vyom echon U'chayedecho bet Yisrael Ba'agala Uvizman kariv V'yimaru amen Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach Le'olam u'almei almaya Yitbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh V'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal Shemei Kedusha brihu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata Tuv shechata v'nechemata Damin ram be'alma V'yimaru amen.
We'll now turn to page 28 for our Baruch Hu, the call to worship. Before we do that, I see that we didn't leave that many prayer books out. Does everybody have a Siddur? And if not, please don't be shy about getting up and getting one. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Our call to worship is on page 28, the Baruch Hu, and we will start by singing Am I Awake? And I think you know the words.
Yada lai lai lai, 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 yada lai lai lai. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Barehu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed Le'olam va'ed Yadadai dai dai 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 Yadadai dai dai.
Let's turn to page 31 And if we could all read together in the middle of the page. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it, we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evenings. The Shema is on page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto Leolam, Leolam Va'ed.
You may be seated. Let's turn the page to page 36 and chant together the V'ahavta. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha V'shinantan levanecha, v'dibarta ba'am, b'shivtecha b'veitecha, uv'lechtecha v'derech, uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha, u'kshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu latotafot b'neinecha. Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem mi'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. Let's all read together on the top of page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Micha Mocha, page 40.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osefele. Nora tehilot osefele. Adonai imlok le'olam va'ed. Malchutecha ra'uvanecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe Miriam. Ze'elianu ve'amaru, Ze'elianu ve'amaru, Adonai imlok le'olam va'ed. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osefele. Nora tehilot osefele. Adonai imlok le'olam va'ed.
Let's turn to the Hashkivenu, page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'hayim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'hayim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'hayim. L'hayim. L'hayim.
As we prepare for the tefillah, our central prayer, I invite you to listen to these words on the top of page 45. We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. Let's all rise, if you're comfortable, and begin the tefillah on page 46.
Adonai sefata tifta ufi yagita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei hakol, V'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, U'mevi geula livnei v'nehem, L'ma'an shemo be'ahava. Melech ozer u'moshiach u'magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham v'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mekayeh hakol atah rav le'oshia, Morid hatah. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mekayeh hakol berakamin rabim, Sohomek noflim verofech holim, Umatir asurim, Umechayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lechayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kadoshim b'chol yom yechalu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
You may be seated. Let's read on the top of page 53 together. Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our days with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, "How filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it." That's a great line from Torah where, remember, Jacob then names the place Beth-El. So that's a special line for us at our temple. Let's take a few moments now for silent prayer. You can use the words and meditations on the following pages up through 62, or simply find those words within your heart. And when we do return, we'll be on page 62.
Ose shalom b'romav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
Recently, a Facebook friend posted a question about how to enjoy the here and now. That friend happens to be my husband. For many of us, it's truly difficult to just live in the present, to be mindful, as they say. For whatever reasons, we're busy regretting past actions or maybe reliving past glories. Others of us are so busy anticipating, either with excitement or dread, the next event that we also remove ourselves from what's going on right now. Some of us even get double duty, looking backwards and forwards at the same time, leaving us way too exhausted to appreciate what is in front of our noses. Living in the present doesn't come easy, but we all know intellectually that we should. So I thought maybe first you could help me out and tell all of us, and say it very loudly, and I'll repeat it for the live stream. What do you do to help keep yourself in the moment? Teach us. Anybody? Here comes Joyce. Funny, Joyce says, I eat. Do you want to say more on that? Okay. To restore yourself. Anybody else? Yes, I'm sorry you don't know your name.
Floyd.
Hi, Floyd.
Talk to my friends, and ask them about what's going on.
Wonderful. Floyd talks to his friends and asks them what's going on. That's a beautiful way to keep you and your friends in the moment. Anyone else? Oh, Jackie. Breathe. You remember to breathe, right? We often forget to breathe. For sure. You know what I mean. We hold our breath. Alicia.
Look at beautiful things and surround myself with a just pleasing environment.
Oh, nice. Looking at beautiful things and surrounding herself and with a pleasing environment. Anyone else? That's okay. We'll come up with some others. Being that we're in a temple, what does anyone think about prayer? How does prayer help center us, help keep us in the moment? And that's why I prefaced the service by saying, let's think about time and past and present and future as we're reading through the prayers. So I wanted to take a good look at it. Dahlia's going to help by passing out this list of all the prayers that we said or are about to say tonight, though I did leave out Misha Berach, which we are going to say in a moment. That's on page 253. But I'd like you to take a look at these prayers. Here, thank you. There's a bigger crowd. If just one person, great. And people at home, you probably do, you have memorized our prayer list. So what I'd like you to do is just spend a few moments thinking about the prayers that we've recited, and there are some you'll see that we're about to say, and just think about, do they make you look backward? Do they make you look forward? Are they making you really centered in the present? Maybe all the above. You're not limited, of course, to the prayers that we said tonight. If you have a favorite prayer in there, we'll want to hear about it too. So we'll just spend a few moments, think about it, talk with your friends, your family, yourself, and then we'll reconvene in just a moment and chat about that. And people at home, I'm sorry I can't look at the live stream or Facebook to see your comments. Okay, talk amongst yourselves. Did everybody get one? Does everyone feel like they had enough time to think about it? Wonderful. And Dahlia has the microphone, so you can just raise your hand and she will bring the microphone over to you. And you tell us about a prayer and how it makes you feel. Does it make you feel like you're looking backward in time or forward or now? There goes Robin.
So I always like the prayer, the standing on the parted shores, because first of all, it has hope for the future, that there's always something better up ahead. And I especially like the way at the end where it says there's no way to get from here to there except by holding hands and marching together.
Beautiful. Gave me goosebumps saying that. Yes, that one, I think we look backward and forward, right? We're standing on the shores of parted history, right? We've got the history, but we know we're going to march forward. And I love also, we're going to march forward together. Who else has a thought to share, a prayer to share?
Yes,
I love 31. This is an hour change, the Ma'ariv Aravim, because I feel like that is a moment in time that is so elusive. Because, I sometimes go to the shore at twilight, and I try to capture that moment that's like between night and day or night and morning, and it's never one moment, but it's many moments. So I feel like when it's an hour of change, it's many moments of change, and it's so subtle, and you have to really be present to pay attention.
Ooh, love that, right? You have to be really present to catch those in-between times. Nice. I think Pamela's hand was up.
So I'm looking at your title, Time in a Bottle, or a prayer book, and that's how I feel about us praying, that everything is circular. I don't think we're commanded always to be in the present, because we have to think about creation and the circle in which we are praying. We remind ourselves about our past. We pray for the future. It's harder to be in the present, but that's how I feel, that we're in circular time now and not in linear time. That's
Beautifully said. It's always hard to follow Pamela, but who wants to try? Steve's right there. Steve and then Gideon.
I love Pamela. I really like Hashki Venu. I love the melody, whether it's done in the round here with the Jammin' Jews or done by Joyce. I love Hashki Venu, whether it's done by the Jammin' Jews or whether it's done by Joyce. And I like the English because it talks about lying down and then raising up to renewed, and about God helping us and protecting us. So I like all that. So it helps me stay present, stay grounded, and look backwards and forward. So that I like very, very much, along with all the others. And I like you guys.
Thank you, Steve.
If I had to pick, I would have to say and I know how in recent weeks we've done the inversion. Well, whoever was at my dad's very last service, my aunt was here, and that was the debut of that version.
Can Joyce remind us which version that was?
It's the Alana Arian one, that Lacha Dodi Likrat Kala
Yeah.
Penei Shabbat.
Nice. Thanks, Gideon. Yes, let's. Myrna.
For me, the Amidah is the best place to be in a service. There are no words, and it keeps me very much in the present, but not just the present outside, but more importantly, the present and the presence within myself. So I love when there are no words, and that I can create my own space.
Oh, nice. Right, so the silent part of the Amidah. A super personal question. All of this is very personal, but during that silent prayer, how many of us are able to stay in the present and not wonder, okay, when am I going to eat dinner, or what am I doing tomorrow, or oh, I forgot to do this at work today, right? I think it takes practice to stay in the present during that silent prayer. It is a meditation, which I thought someone might say that meditation might be a form of staying in the present. Any other comments? These are all wonderful to hear. Thank you, Dahlia. I think if you looked, you found that some of these prayers do call up the past, as Pamela said, maybe keeping us in this cycle. Some are very forward-looking too, the marching together. Thank you. That's fine, I got it. There we go. And I think we really are indeed a people in whom the past endures. And I wondered, so if we're always turning backwards, we're calling up the Avot v'Imahot, our fathers, forefathers and foremothers. We're always looking back and we're remembering the Exodus and we're remembering the great things that God did for us. You know, how does that enable us to enjoy the present day? And I think about the Passover Seder, in which we say we must each consider ourselves as if we had been standing at Sinai. And in other words, right now, we need to think about what would it be like to experience that revelation of God, and how can we bring that into our everyday experiences now? And I think we can use these prayers, we can use our everyday customs to elevate every present moment. You know, there's that custom where you try to say 100 blessings every day, which we've talked about here before. Whether it's thanking God when we see a rainbow, or we appreciate the daily miracles in our Nisim B'chol Yom. Thank God for waking up. Or we express gratitude for our good health, which I think all of us do regularly these days. These are all ways that we force our minds to live in the present, whether you are thanking God or thanking some higher being or just being grateful. I think also if you keep just a little bit kosher, it's not the same as just a little bit pregnant, then every time that you choose what you're going to eat, you're putting yourself in the present. You're forcing yourself to pay attention. And I think people who have other dietary rules as well do that, right? You're not just eating, you're stopping and thinking. And that's what I was wondering if that's where you were going with your comment, Joyce. If you take time out of your week to recognize Shabbat, here or on the live stream, or you're lighting candles at home, or you're just taking a rest from work, all of these habits help put you into the present. And I just think that's really awesome. I think we're really lucky that we have these practices that we can do wherever, with whomever, wherever we are. And we don't have to do them all, and we don't have to be perfect at it. And I'm sure I'm not. But we can all try our best, and that's really a gift. So Shabbat Shalom. And let's turn to the Misha Berach, where we're thinking about those who are in need of healing. We're thinking about the caretakers of those in need of healing. We're going to be on page 253. And here are
Inside back
those.
cover.
I'm sorry?
Inside back cover.
Whoops, we're not going to be on page 253. We're going to be, sorry to interrupt that beautiful back. The inside cover of your, back cover of your Siddur has the version of Misha Berach that we are singing. These members of our community, we're particularly thinking about this Shabbat. Donna Axman, Judith Alstetter, Ann Bregman Rasco, Sherry Craig, Cindy Feder, David Gordon, Debbie Hallwell, Frank Moss, Julie Weaver. And we keep these relatives and friends in mind. Madeline Arabia, Patty Bregman, Rusty Cluck, Phyllis Serrata Feldman, Herb Fisher, Elisa Freeman, Robert Friedman, Jordana Fuller, Terry Gilner, Stephen Goldstein, Barbara Hansen, Kara Herbst, Stephen Kerr. We're thinking of David Kroll, Jimmy Lambert, Matthew Sternberg Lee, Mark Lehman, Paisley Lewis, Marcus Maruskin, Marcia Mishewitz, Anna Power, Betty Schroeder, Lori Sarah, Peggy Spoor, Meryl Stern, Liviana Sulzer, Lyda Tate, Goldie Thompson, Eugenia Wands, and Nancy Scher Weiss. Surely there are others you were thinking about this Shabbat as well. Please keep their names close to you in your hearts as we sing Misha Berach.
sheberak avotenu Avraham, Yitzhak, veYaakov Mi sheberak imotenu Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel May the one who blessed our mothers May the one who blessed our fathers hear our prayer.
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 Hear our prayer and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Mi sheberak avotenu Avraham, Yitzhak, veYaakov Mi sheberak imotenu Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel Bless us with a vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Mi sheberak avotenu Mi sheberak imotenu Hear our prayer.
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 Hear our prayer and bless us as well. Hear our prayer. Hear our prayer. Hear our prayer. Hear our prayer and bless us as well.
Speaking of the past and the future, I'd like to invite up an old and renewed friend, Ed, and a brand new friend, Henry, I'm predicting, to open the doors to our ark as we all rise for the Aleinu on page 282.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'tet gedula le'yotzer breshit, shalo asanu kagoye haratzot, velo samanu kamishpachot hadama, shalo sam kalkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kahol hamonam. Va'anaknu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech kol haaretz Bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
Thank you, and please remain standing as we now turn to the Mourner's Kaddish, which is on page 294. You may think the mourner's cottage is just about the past because we're thinking about our loved ones that we've lost either in recent days or in this season, but I've increasingly realized it's also about the present, because where are those loved ones now? They're really residing within all of our hearts through all of our actions and deeds and words and funny jokes, in the case of my mom anyway. So I think this is not as straightforward as we might have thought. It's just the past. It's really also the present. As we turn to page 294, we remember these loved ones. We have recently lost Michelle Archambault Lahav, the wife of Yonah Lahav. And in this season and years past, we're thinking of Max Axelrod, Dorothy Bennett, Jason Bernstein, Michael Borish, Eleanor Bermesco, Philip Brennan, Evelyn Cohen, Robert Elbaz, George Ehrenbaum, Max Fortunoff, Benjamin Glass, Steve Grant, Max Hale, Rick Jenkins, Adolph Klein, Sidney Herschel Krakauer, Louis Krosner, Ida Lee, Anna Moed, Rose Hartzell-Moyer, Arthur Pacharski, Irene Lewis Perry, Hannah B. Person, Nathaniel Reimer, Shirley London Reimer, Eugene Rosenbluth, Faye Rosenzweig, Abraham Rudderman, Ezra Silver, Thomas Steele, Stanley Wallach, Frederick Westcott, Jack Wolf, and Sylvia Zoller. If you are remembering a loved one this Shabbat, I invite you to say that person's name out loud if you so choose, starting with this side of the congregation. Over here. Zichrona Livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. May they continue to reside in our hearts and our laughter. Let's read together on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, b'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'yizman kariv v'meru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba Mavarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitzbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudesha barichu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiram b'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'ramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. You may be seated, except for Robin Warren, who will bring us some brief announcements on behalf of the board.
Whoa, it's a little creaky. So Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I am Robin Warren, and I'm your Temple Board rep tonight. Thank you, Joyce, for the beautiful music, and how lucky are we to have Rebecca to step in at the last minute to help lead a lovely service. So Rebecca, we're really fortunate, and thank you for that. Even the notes for tonight were even updated to say thank you, Rebecca. I didn't notice that. We're up to date. So it's wonderful to see so many old friends and faces out there, and also many new people. Thank you for being here. Next Wednesday, join our book club in the Sembler Family Library at 11 a.m. Everyone is welcome. You don't have to pre-register. They meet up every fourth Wednesday of every month, and you can check out the events page at our website for the upcoming books, and it doesn't say here, and I don't remember what the book is. Does anyone know what the book is they're reading this month? No, sorry. What?
Check our event
Yes, check the events page, exactly. So our Boomers group is meeting on the third week of August for a private tour and lunch at the Museum of Arts and Crafts Movement in downtown St. Petersburg, and they'd love for you to join them. If you haven't been there, I highly recommend it. Even if you have been there, I highly recommend it. See our events page to see how to register for that event, because space is limited for that event. And lastly, we're in the middle of membership renewals. Hopefully you all received, those of you who are members, your membership renewal information. And if you haven't already completed your renewal, please do so before August 7th. If you have any questions, please contact our wonderful executive director. It says right here, she's wonderful, Sarah Gottlieb in the office, and she is wonderful. So more about events coming up, and to register, see our events page on our website, and be sure to follow us on social media to stay connected. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Robin. And thank you all for participating in our discussion this evening, and of course for sharing your voices and singing with Joyce and me. It's always a pleasure to be able to hear the whole congregation. And so with that, let us all rise and sing together on page 62, Yihiyu L'Ratzon.
Yihiyu l'ratzon imrefi ve'yom livi lefanecha. Yihiyu l'ratzon imrefi ve'yom livi lefanecha. Adonai turi, Adonai turi, Adonai turi ve'goali. Adonai turi, Adonai turi, Adonai turi ve'goali. Yihiyu l'ratzon imrefi ve'yom libi lefanecha. Yihiyu l'ratzon imrefi ve'yom libi lefanecha.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
made a delicious pizza. Very gourmet.
Yeah, you can have it.
Okay.
And they have vegan cheese.
I had those.
Blue algae.
Oh, nice. Oh, blue algae. How was it, the gentleman?
The gentleman, he got a job working. Yeah, working force. But not. It's like.
Shut the doors when you're done.